Hey, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining in. My name is Steven, and I'll be your facilitator this evening. Super excited to have you join in and learn a little bit more about Founders Boost. So thank you again for joining us today. And we'd love to get to know you a little bit as we're going through the presentation today. So please go ahead and make your pitch to us. We'd love to hear just a one-liner of the venture you're working on. If you don't want to share that, please let us know where you are dialing in from. We'd love to know which city and state you are tuning in from, and to get to know you a little bit better. For a basic overview, we're going to go ahead with the slides and take questions at two different sections, the fireside chat and at the end. But if anything pops up, feel free to place your questions in the chat and we'll do our best to recall them later on. A little bit about Founders Boost. We started in 2012 and have been growing across cities over the years. We've been helping pre-seed startups prepare for accelerators, investment and revenue, or AIR for short. Some of our And again, we find ourselves very interestingly here. We believe entrepreneurs can change the world, and as data shows, there's a huge chasm for new startups to get across to avoid becoming another failed startup number. And there's a few reasons for this, from mindset and connections to mentors and access to capital. That's where Founders Boost comes in to close that gap and get promising startups towards AIR and long-term economic and impact growth. To say that a pre-accelerator is a lot of work is an understatement. In just 6 weeks, we are going to squeeze you through a quarter of intensive bootcamp. And this includes mentorships, workshops, refining your pitch, and pitch deck prep. So whatever you need and wherever you are in your startup life cycle, it's our job as co-directors to support you and surround you with all the resources that you need to move towards your AIR goal. We aim to cater the program around each company. So we try to meet you where you are, and we try to speak to you as early as possible. So we understand, one, what you're dealing with, what your headaches are, what keeps you up at night, so that come the program, we surround you with all the things you really need, and we can help accelerate you as quickly as possible. If there's one pet peeve I have, it's wasting people's time. So let's put that to the test. We have invited an alum from a prior program to share their experience of having gone through the program and the alumni community afterwards. So joining us today is Samita Jornak, CEO of NER Labs from the spring 2020 cohort in Los Angeles. So we'd love to welcome to the stage Samita, and appreciate you taking the time to share your experiences in this brief fireside chat. So how are you doing today?
Oh, wow. Okay, today. Today is a little frenetic. We are trying very hard to finish an application for the JLabs Vet Challenge, which is a quick fire challenge for veterans. So if anyone's interested, the application's due by Friday.
Awesome. So great to hear, and looking forward to hear the latest updates as well. So some ground rules, as nuggets of wisdom or questions come to mind, drop them in the chat. We love so we can react and shape the conversation based on your feedback. So a little bit about, how did you first hear about Founders Boost, Samita? Back then it was Startup Boost, and what caught your attention about it?
So I saw it as something in our newsletter at UCLA. We get like the Anderson. I was at UCLA Anderson, the management school. And so I got on as many email distros as possible just to find out, hey, what's going on? And this was one of the distros that the Anderson Venture Accelerator runs. And they talked about the startup boost thing. And I was like, oh, hey, the application is in a couple of days. I guess we should do this. It sounds really cool. So it was, just pure dumb luck that we saw that and that we applied for it. And then we went in and we were selected for an interview, and we interviewed with Mark and Tanya, and they were like, wow, you guys are weird, but we'll take you.
Awesome. And digging a little deeper, what was that experience like when you went into the program? How was the beginning going through it and up until the end?
So I heard you say earlier that this is a lot of work. I'll echo that. It was a lot of work. Gosh, you're pitching every week. And so right now I'm in the Mass Challenge Accelerator. And, I'll be honest, I'm like, wow, this is a cakewalk compared to what I had to do for this program. It's a little bit more laissez-faire, the program I'm in right now, whereas with Startup Boost, Founders Boost, it was very organized. There was like, you would go live, you would pitch every week, and you would get instant feedback, so it was like those audience dials, where they're telling you, okay, we like this, we didn't like this, and you got that instant feedback. Super helpful to help craft, your message and be concise.
You mentioned this was a little different than the Mass Challenge. In hindsight, I guess what would you recommend doing differently for somebody coming into the program for the first time?
I'm trying to think of what I would recommend differently, because ours was a med tech company. So, we just made all sorts of mistakes. So yeah, I would make a lot of changes with the way that we approached it. But for other people, I think one of the things that we didn't take enough advantage of, and I would encourage you guys to do that, is the mentors. Talk with the mentors, because when you're in the program, they want to help you. They'll help you after the program too, but they're really obligated to help you during the program. And they're there, and they're a captive audience, and they're definitely, here to be your cheerleaders and support you. And you bounce ideas. It's really cool.
Nice. And that's during the program. So what about demo day? What's that like?
So demo day, okay, I'll be honest. I was like, oh, okay, cool. It's pre-recorded. This will be easy. Don't worry about it. Because it's pre-recorded, I had a sense of, this will be easy. And I shouldn't have. I would say rehearse, have someone else look at your pitch and see if they can understand what you're talking about in like the first 15, 30 seconds. Because I think your pitch is maybe like 2 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. I don't remember. But if you're not able to capture someone's attention pretty quickly, then, even in a live pitch, you're going to lose them.
Right. And definitely want to be respectful of your time. So what was the alumni experience? How has that been like? Once you did demo day, graduated and all that stuff, what was that like? And, I guess what can founders expect once they trust in the process and see the program all the way through the end? What happens after?
So you're part of this really cool community. And I would encourage everyone, if you're not active on Slack, get on Slack, because that's where alumni as well as active participants put in a lot of opportunities. You'll find out about, applications that are happening. Like I just announced JLabs to y'all if you're interested in that one. You'll find out about, successes that other founders are having. So you'll be able to celebrate in that, as well as job opportunities. So a lot of startups are in the process of hiring. So you'll see postings in that Slack as well. So when you become an alumni, you get to be a lifetime member of this cool group of people, and you can have, access to those mentors still.
Nice. And what's next for your company now? Any ambitious goals that you're focusing on next?
Oh gosh. So the ambitious goal, obviously we're trying to get the JLabs funding. That's $250,000. So that would be a nice chunk of change. The next thing that we're trying to do is we just got invited to the NSF SBIR phase 1 grant, which for a med tech company is like a big deal. So we're excited to be able to, submit our application for the last cycle of the year. And hopefully we get that, and that'll be another 250. It's like 256, some weird number, but it's like 250K. So that'll be super cool. And it's a validation. It's a real validation of us and our science and the team and the business.
Awesome. And any parting words for any potential applicants?
So any applicants, I would say, don't sell yourself short. I'll tell you, we were the oddball because we are a med tech company, and you've got CPG companies, you've got just straight up SaaS companies. Some were like military veterans like me, some were not. And you feel like you might be out of place, but guess what? Everyone's kind of out of place there. And that's what's great about this community is you get to be out of place together and have that camaraderie nonetheless. So take that chance on yourself, take it on your vision, and execute.
Awesome. And thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you sharing your experience with our community. Stay safe, and we'll reconnect over the FoundersBoost X community on Slack.
Sounds good. I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Oh, yeah. So we've had some questions. I've been asking them, or I've been sprinkling them in, so to speak.
Okay, great.
Awesome. All right, Tamina, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Take care. Good luck.
And there you have it, a personal experience of someone having gone through the program, and they are not the only one. Here's some other examples from our spring cohort. Amplio.io from this spring is going on to do a crowdfund through Republic for 1.2 million. They just hit the minimum mark of, I believe it was 25,000. And so they're on the way to reach that 1.2 million for October. INF Care is going through their investor madness period, trying to reach their fundraise goal. And Heirloom Cloud is exploring the fundraising madness as well. And it is a gauntlet. It is a madness when you're trying to raise money. Make no mistake about that. And if there's one thing you get from this list is that FoundersBoost is a mentor-driven pre-accelerator program. We have some amazing professionals across diverse experiences to guide and help founders get unstuck and edging closer past the proverbial startup chasm of death. A huge thank you to our mentors. This is just a sample of the mentors network we are cultivating here in the Washington, D.C. area to help you grow and accelerate. And going more big picture, we received more than 4,000 applications to date, more than 300 startups accepted into the program over the years, and a combined raise of $85 million across the alumni network. We have a strong and impressive alumni community. You are here to be the right kind of busy, and so are we, frankly. So for those seeking venture capital, our investment portfolio is diverse across many firms. Interesting to note, we do not have any particular preference towards any one accelerator or another. In fact, we don't believe venture capital is the right path for everyone, hence our diverse air focus. And speaking of diverse, let's pause for a brief moment to bring up an important point. We can't operate in good faith in the capital of inclusive innovation, Washington, D.C., without being hypersensitive to diversity, equity, and inclusion. We are beyond the moon and back proud of our work to reduce barriers for the new majority. And we will continue to do so because as humans, we still have a long ways to go. And we partner with dope organizations to continue the good work. And you are in good company from the start. So let's break down the programming so you get a better sense of how the 6 weeks actually look like. Each week we have a deep dive into a topic, and we'll invite a seasoned expert to go past the basic content fluff and everyday community events for more in-depth discussions and actionable insights that can be quickly applied to your business. We then move forward into pitch coaching, because the challenge after developing that product market fit and scalable processes is to communicate this win over investors, partners, etc. You get some tough love here, and with a focus on the love, because we want you to crush your pitch when it really matters, like pitching to Richard Branson or Melissa Bradley, or as some examples. There's many out there. And because every startup has different challenges, we finish with direct one-to-one mentorship for your particular business. The journey to build a successful business is riddled with growth challenges. We get that. So we put you in weekly direct contact to help you get unstuck and ideally moving right along to the next challenge with our mentors network. And a big question many of you probably have is, what are we looking for in a business and in your application specifically? So always, always, always is team, team, team. Are you the founders to build this and take it forward? Do you have the grit to push past the ups and downs and ambiguity and chaos that's coming? Are you open to feedback? Do you apply the learnings to do more faster? Do you have a well-balanced team? Are you a mix of technical and business backgrounds? Are you passionate about what you are building and looking to change the world? That's what we really, really care about and are looking for. The next thing is market. This is the right time, right? Is there a viable path to growth, market share? What's the likelihood of it being successful? An example here, some of you may be scientists who started developing technology in the lab, and it could take 15 years of refining that in the lab. That might be too early, but let's have a conversation and figure out where you're at and whether your technology is ready for market and in the program. The next thing we really look at is traction. And we tell everyone to reach out to us as soon as possible if you're interested, because we want to see you execute over time. What have you accomplished since we last connected? Put us on your update email so we can see all the things you are accomplishing. You're bringing on a new team member, you secured a partner, you're testing the product in a new pilot, you generated some revenue. Anything can be traction. It can even be a failure. It can be, we learned this was wrong, the wrong approach, and now we're slightly pivoting. Learnings are an exception because it means an advantage over other people. So traction is key, and we want to see that you can execute. So just keep us in the loop, add us to your update emails. We're there to join the ride with you and want to see everything you are accomplishing. And the last thing we look at is the solution. So obviously, what are you building? We want to know you are going after a significant problem and you've developed at least a minimum viable product or solution to the problem. So while startups pivot and iterate a lot, the idea and solution is not nearly as important as the problem you're going after. So as long as you've been focusing your background and your expertise, investing so much of your energy building this, the solution can pivot, but we just want to see that you're going down the right track. So we've given you a few examples of traction, but feel free to let us know other ideas you may have to show signs of progress and traction. Put that in the chat, please. Let us know. So some commonly asked questions, what's our mission or outcomes? The program is diverse in its approach to help ventures grow and scale. Some go on to apply for an accelerator, others want to begin the fundraise gauntlet, and others want to go the traditional route through good old-fashioned customer acquisition. There's no right way here. The path you decide to take is really up to you. We'll be here to guide and connect based on what you decide. And another question, what's our method exactly? So we deliver outcomes through mentorship, focus on priorities, and strategic connections. Another question, what else is there beyond the 6 weeks? You have 2 capstones, demo and investor days, and access to the FoundersBoost X community. First, Demo Day has evolved beyond a capstone milestone into more of a celebration. Investors and other entrepreneurs look forward to our Demo Day to see the rousing founders and ventures that DC has to offer, really. We have investors who we invite to check out the better talent and potential deal flow opportunities. So it makes sense to just be there. Second, through the FoundersBoost X community, we host various workshops, optional, of course, because you're all busy building your business, but the events are aligned with what our startups need to scale up and apply towards growth and scale efforts. Remember, be the right kind of busy. So we focus on focused content. That includes keynote speakers, curated content. We focus on community through group mentorships, workshops, and meetups, and of course, mentorship. You also get exclusive perks and discounts, software, services, tools, events, and travel accommodation. And so thanks so much for coming to this Ask Me Anything meet and greet. This is actually a really big step because not only are you getting FaceTime with us, but you're also getting to know a little bit about who we are and what we offer. This is the best time to ask questions if you have any, but also for us to get some time with you as well. Next, what you'll want to do now is apply by the deadline. We have our own preference for the application process, so apply early so we can see your traction and progress during your application phase. And lastly, you'll go through interviewing and screening with our team before final selections are made. And this is so that you can see what we're about, who's the people behind this, and is it a right fit for you as well? Again, we want you to be the right kind of busy and not waste your time. So we want to give you some background on ourselves and the program because you'll be working closely with us as co-directors, and it's valuable to see the things that we've been through. We come from various components of the entrepreneurship ecosystem. I see myself as a founder first, mostly in the marketing and future industry space. I've worked in catalyzing entrepreneurship ecosystems across 170 countries, just recently across the US and Canada and Colombia through Techstars. Fun fact, my venture capital experience began through Next Gen Venture Partners. Back then, it was called Startup Angels. My core focus now is helping brown and Black businesses grow and scale through 1863 Ventures, doubling down on disruptive innovation in future industries through Swago and Innovate Coalitioning. And as next steps, I'm diving down the DAO, or Decentralized Autonomous Organization, blockchain, and other exponential technologies rabbit hole, and aiming for the space industry someday. But at the heart of it all, I'm a community builder, catalyzing connections or nodes across stakeholders to accelerate more equitable economic development and wealth generation for all. My colleague, Stephen Beecham from Angels and Entrepreneurs, amazing when it comes to pipeline deal flow and how to actually pitch to investors. We also, and then, again, it takes a village to raise a startup, so we cannot make the magic happen without the support of amazing program associates. We have Flor Liavano from Orange Up, helping us with some of the core programming and logistics throughout your experience here. And there's still room for another program associate to join in the team. So again, if you're interested, love to have more people join on board if you're a community stakeholder, because as an entrepreneur, you got to focus on you and you got to be the right kind of busy. So you'll be going through the program. I'll place in the chat if you're interested to learn more about how to become a program associate or share with somebody who may be interested in building their resume or portfolio. And I think if there's anything left here, it's really, we'll end with some key dates and details. Our fall 2021 program applications are currently open and close September 16th. It's a virtual experience, again, for safety reasons, from October 5th through December 8th, every Tuesday, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern. So if you are interested, feel free to reach out. And with that, applications are open. So apply sooner than later if possible, so we can get to knowing you more and see your progress from our holistic understanding of what you and the awesome venture that you're building. So any questions, feel free to put in the chat. Let's see what we've got. Okay, so I'm pre-revenue. Can I apply? Pre-revenue is fine, depending on business model. Many don't make revenue to start, so that's all right. Do you have any traction to speak of? Just make sure to say that on the application. Any other questions? I'm a solo founder. Can I apply? Not a big detriment, just we have seen more success when it's a team. So just make sure to showcase your team on the application if going solo, or if you're still solo in ideation, then at the very least, show what are some of the team building capacity you need, like who are the next team members you're looking to bring on board to help you realize your venture. Are there any fees? No fees and no equity taken. We want to lower barriers for anyone to be able to participate in this program. So we are aiming for 0 barriers really here. What are the time commitments? Tuesdays, every Tuesday, 6 to 9 p.m. starting the week of October 4th, and it's 6 weeks straight, just on Tuesday, 6 to 9 p.m. If you cannot make them, you will miss out on the mentors, which will be a missed opportunity on your end. That's the real magic sauce and what everybody finds the most valuable, because you have them all concentrating on you and your needs. So I would try not to skip any if possible. So again, that's Tuesday, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern, every week starting the week of October 4th. Will this be in person or virtual? This fall 2021 cycle, we are doing it all virtual. Any in-person activations will be optional and separate from the core program. How about privacy and protection of ideas? In this case, we can definitely talk about that. For the most part, all the founders are here trying to just help each other out. So we haven't seen any bad actors in that sense. And us, we're not trying to take your idea because we're running a pre-accelerator program. So we have no time. But valid point, love to connect with you and seeing what exactly you're concerned about when it comes to privacy and protection. And we can definitely explore if it's a good fit then. Not a problem. All right, any other questions? Going once, going twice, and it seems like that's it. So not a problem. Your time is precious. So with that, I want to say thank you for joining this. For any more information, feel free to send us an email, apply as soon as you can, and ask us questions through email if you need to. So super excited to see some of your ideas come in the pipeline, and best wishes on your startup. So thank you all.